Hey guys, it's Michael here. I just want to talk to you guys for a quick second before we get the show started. First of all, I want to apologize for the delay of this episode. I've been having a lot of problems with this computer. It's been really slow, and I have not had the time to put it up. I've been busy with college, homework, tests, and I've been busy on the online classes I'm taking. So I just have not had the time. Within next month, I plan on getting a new laptop, and I'll try to keep everything up to date. Um, if the new episode will come out, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. You can go watch it on Podbean. Uh, I'll try to get it up on YouTube as soon as possible. But other than that, I just want to apologize and give you all a heads up. So, anyway, enjoy this episode. Thank you.
Mysteries of Michigan.
Welcome to Mysteries of Michigan. Thank you for joining me. As always, I am your host, Tom Velasquez, and today we will be discussing a little bit of Bigfoot, a little bit of a subject that has grown near and dear to my heart on this show, and I think you will enjoy it. Let's jump right into it. I don't want to get into this, but I think I have to, being that we are a Michigan-based show. If you live in the mid-Michigan region, you have most probably heard of the Midland, Michigan Bigfoot. And the reason I told you, or I said I didn't want to get into this, is you will hear about this right now. It's pretty amazing. So, Midland, Michigan, pretty much in the middle of Michigan. The Midland Bay area is Midland Bay City, Saginaw. I grew up in Saginaw, Midland. I know it very well, and never heard of a Bigfoot there. But all of a sudden now it's turned into Bigfoot Central. So let's talk about it. Gentleman by the name of Anthony Padilla claims that multiple Sasquatches are living on his Midland, Michigan property. They've actually had Michigan Bigfoot investigators take up the case. The Bigfoot Field Research Organization, or BFRO, based out of San Francisco, took control of this case and sent Matthew Smith, who is an investigator from the Michigan chapter of the BRFO. According to Smith and Padilla, Smith was supplied evidence including, you ready for this? Pizza boxes that the Bigfoots have eaten, a photo album, tape recorder, and a video recorder. So, screw-eating sticks, deer, squirrels, they've moved on to Papa John's. Anyway, according to Smith, he has hair samples from the pizza box that they looked at under a light, compared them to other quote-unquote Bigfoot samples, and lo and behold, they matched. This could be something. This is going to be tested for DNA, Smith said. Now, to deem a sighting as legitimate, the BRFO group takes a look at factors such as location, Midland, Michigan, not a hole in the earth. It's a pretty big hub. Yes, there are woods out there, but it's not like it's in just in the middle of a big old forest. You've got, as I say, Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, right around there. Midland is turned into a big medical area. Not a lot of remote locations out there. So, but they check locations. The history of Bigfoot sightings in the area, first one I've ever heard, and I've been in the area 40 years, and the evidence. If these seem to check out, investigators will camp in the area Bigfoot is said to have been spotted. So in other words, they've taken out the fact that you're in a big city. Granted, yes, there are outskirts of the town, but you're near big cities. Never had a history of Bigfoot sightings, and the evidence is hair out of a pizza box so far. That's good enough for me. Let's go camp out and see if we can find a Bigfoot. So, Smith, in his geniusness, you have to look at how much wooded area there is. Obviously, you're not going to see a Bigfoot in the middle of the city. Yes, it's true. You want to find a Bigfoot in the woods. You're not going to look for him in the city. Yes, I understand that, Mr. Smith. But you got to have a forest. There's not much forest in Midland, Michigan. You have to look at the history, look at the archives, and see if there are any other witnesses that have seen it. If you have people from the same community that haven't talked to each other, you know it could be real. Okay. Again, this is all over the news. It was front page of the Saginaw News. People are talking about it. It's going to happen. People want to be famous. They want their 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, I saw Bigfoot. He was eating out of the Domino's box in the corner. Unbelievable. So, what is Smith legitimizing? Padilla's claim is that there's been 4 people in the area that have seen this. According to Smith, a woman across the road and a ways away from Padilla emailed me and said she had actually 3 encounters on her property. She's been a hunter for 31 years and it says her son has seen it twice and she has seen it twice. That's enough for me. Sold. Get out there. Shoot the damn thing. Bring it home. Back to Padilla. His first encounter with Bigfoot happened while he was walking through the woods behind his house. The night before, he heard rumbling noises. Wow, in the woods, you never hear that. And decided to try to determine the source of the sounds. While in the woods, Padilla came upon a figure he figured was a hunter in a ghillie suit, or a Department of Natural Resources employee. Yes, I always see hunters in ghillie suits in the middle of the night roaming through my woods. His back was arched, but I saw him first. I seen him first, and then he seen me. And he arced up like a big statue and froze, because big statues arc up all the time. I tried speaking to it. I couldn't spit it out. I wasn't scared. He wouldn't let me. What the? I tried speaking to it. I couldn't spit it out. But I wasn't scared. He wouldn't let me be scared. He wouldn't let me. Whew, this guy's a nut job. The next thing Padilla remembers is seeing 2 deer leaving the area. After this encounter, Padilla says he and the creatures have a spiritual bond. So in other words, these Bigfoot creatures turned into deer and scampered away. Unbelievable. To top the cake off, Padilla has said many of his communications with those creatures, those deer Bigfoot, have revolved around food he has left for it. Get ready for this, because this is great. I had a whole pack of Nutter Butter cookies around the tree, and the top was missing off of one. The peanut butter was poked with a stick, and that stick was sticking up in the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a news flash. There are animals in the woods. Animals like to eat. Animals may like to eat Nutter Butters. If this isn't the biggest crock of crap I have ever heard in my life, I don't know what is. The best part is he is demanding that the Midland Police Department go out and find evidence of this Bigfoot. Can't find evidence himself, so we'll get the cops involved. God knows they have enough patrolmen or police officers to go look for a pizza-eating, Nutter Butters sticking Bigfoot. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this just gives Michigan a bad rap. I don't even know where to begin on this. Is there a Bigfoot in Midland, Michigan? No. Is there a psychopath in Midland, Michigan? Yes, his name is Anthony Padilla. Mr. Padilla, here is a challenge to you. Please contact me at Mysteries of Michigan and prove to me that you have evidence that a Bigfoot is on your property eating pizza in Nutter Butters. Please. With that being said, if you get a hold of me and you prove to me that the Bigfoot is there, I will recant, I will do a story, and I will call it the Anthony Padilla Mysteries of Michigan show. You can host it. I don't care. I am that confident that you do not have a Bigfoot. Taking a look at this picture of the hair, a wad of hair that looks like hair that my daughter has at the bottom of the bathroom drain. This happened to be in a pizza box, though, so that makes it 100% legitimate Bigfoot. I have ranted and I've really raved too much on this already. I've given this way too much attention, more attention than I wanted to give it. So next, after this brief pause, we are going to talk about the Texas hunter that says he shot Bigfoot. Will we have a little more legitimacy on this one? God, I hope so. Talk to you soon.
Coming soon, the zombie survival novel from the hosts of Mysteries of Michigan, Tom Velasquez. Follow Mike Locke as he traverses through the backwoods, across the rivers, and through the government quarantine zones of mid-Michigan as he searches for his family who are holed up in their home, trying to survive the impending zombie apocalypse. Can Mike Locke get to his family in time? And if he does, how will he get them home safely? Find out shortly on All ebook readers.
All right, we are back, everybody. So, if you didn't get enough Bigfoot out of the Mysteries of Michigan, Midland, Michigan case, we're going to talk to a Bigfoot hunter out of northwest San Antonio, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, remember? Well, Rick Dyer claims he bagged the mythical beast in northern San Antonio woods in 2012. 2014 now, just in case you didn't know. Mr. Dyer is a self-described professional Bigfoot hunter, as if there is an amateur Bigfoot hunter. He claims to have shot and killed one of these creatures in San Antonio. I've never been to San Antonio. Again, I know it's a big town. I'm sure they have woods on the outskirts, but I don't think Bigfoot's hanging out there. This particular person, Rick Dyer, has released pictures of the alleged beast's body. Mr. Dyer has said, Bigfoot is 100% real. There's no question about that. Sold. That's all I needed to hear. Mr. Dyer said it. I guess I'm sold. How did it get to this point? Dyer claims he shot and killed the mythical creature in the wooded area on the northwest side of near the loop of 1604 and Highway 151. So not only are we near a major city, we're near a major highway. This was in early September 2012. Now, up until recently, Dyer never provided any proof beyond a surprising, grainy video clip he shot of the big beast while outside his tent. He had a documentary, Shooting Bigfoot, that, needless to say, did not impress his skeptics. So why are we waiting so long to see this body? Well, it was a lengthy battle with his investors. After he finally figured out what to do with his investors, he was able to reclaim the body. According to Mr. Dyer, and I quote, I have been worried for so long. I have been put off for so long. And finally, we went up to Washington State, and we got the body. Every test that you can possibly imagine was performed on this body, from DNA tests to 3D optical scans to body scans. It's the real deal. It's Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's here. And I shot it. And now I'm proving it to the world. God. Ugh. Dyer says he has let more than 100 people see the body up close, and he recorded their reactions from disgust to mocking to laughter. But no, he wanted to get the people's reactions, make them believers, and we did it to over 130 people. He says they definitely made them a believer. Unbelievable. Now this is where I figured this is a complete and utter joke. According to Mr. Dyer, Bigfoot is not a tooth fairy. Bigfoot is real. The most important thing to me is, wait for it, being vindictive, letting people know that I am the best Bigfoot tracker in the world. And it's not just me saying it. It's me, myself, and I saying it. Yes, I am the best in the world because I have a picture of, I'll get into that picture later. Dyer plans to hold a news conference where he will show the full body and release the tests. Following the big reveal, no surprise, Dyer plans to take the body on tour across the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Of course, he will charge a small fee to view the body. So, let's dig into this story. He shot him in the woods. I get that. Bigfoot live in the woods. You walk in the woods, you're going to get shot. It's no different than Chicago. You walk around Chicago, you're going to get shot. What's the difference? But we're in San Antonio, guys. We're right next to a major thoroughfare in San Antonio. I don't think Bigfoots are taking out their residents right along the highway. What the hell is he doing shooting by the highway? What a nut job. And to look at this picture. So, I'm going to assume this thing was frozen for a year. But even if it's frozen, don't you think you'd have a little bit of decomposition? It's not decomposed at all. If you look at the picture, I'll post it on my Facebook site. It kind of looks like Father Time with a blue face. He's just chilling. It was like he was walking around the woods all high as a kite, smoking some birch tree or something, and got shot and just died in there. And you're like, oh gosh, that sucked. I don't get it. You know, every time, this happens to me all the time, I get all excited. There's news coming out that somebody shot a Bigfoot. Somebody's got a Bigfoot. They're going to release photos. And I get so excited. I'm like, oh, this is finally the time where we released it, where it's finally we prove Bigfoot exists. The last time, it was a freaking gorilla suit. This time, I see a picture of a face. It's not Bigfoot. It looks nothing like Bigfoot. Not that I've seen a Bigfoot, but I have a general idea what Bigfoot would look like, and it doesn't look like a blue Smurf. It kind of looks like Papa Smurf when you look at it. So he killed Papa Smurf. Let's change the story to that. Rick Dyer, he shot Papa Smurf. Because that's what it looks like. When you go on my Facebook site, look at this picture and tell me this doesn't look like Papa Smurf. Make that beard a little bit whiter and put a hat on him. You got Papa Smurf. What else can I say? I really truly wish there would be some legitimacy in this Bigfoot thing. Do I think Bigfoot exists? I absolutely do. We are constantly finding new species of animals in this day and age, which is amazing. There are still places on this planet we haven't explored. Hell, the bottom of the ocean, we know more about the moon than we do our oceans of the world. Who knows what's lurking behind there? That's a story for another show. But to say these two morons have Bigfoot in their backyard and shot him, one guy shot him, that's ridiculous. No way. I don't buy it. Please, somebody disagree with me on this. Somebody tell me that all this stuff is real. I really, really want to hear what you have to say on this, and please try and prove this to me, because there's no way. There's absolutely no way this can be legit. But please, somebody get on my Facebook site. Somebody go to Podbean. Somebody go to Twitter. Somebody go to iTunes and post. Please tell me, no, this is legit, and tell me why. Please prove me wrong. Somebody prove me wrong. I would love to be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong on this one. End of rant. All right, guys. We're going to take one more little break here, and then we're going to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. If you've listened to the previous Mysteries of Michigan, you'll know it's not really about Michigan, but you'll know it when you hear it. We'll be right back.
The Paranormal Research and Investigative Society of Michigan is a family-operated paranormal research group based out of mid-Michigan. Formed in 2010, PRISM has conducted numerous investigations that have yielded some very interesting results. With a team of true believers and skeptics alike, PRISM assures you of the most comprehensive and accurate investigation possible. If you feel you are having paranormal activity or any activity you cannot explain, please contact PRISM at 989-413-0430, or you can find them on Facebook at PRISOM. As with any PRISM investigation, yours will be done free of charge, and all steps will be taken to ensure your privacy. Again, if you have any paranormal activity or activity you cannot explain, please contact PRISM at 989-413-0430 or find them on Facebook. PRISM, the Paranormal Research and Investigative Society of Michigan, serving Mid-Michigan and beyond.
Okay, everybody, we're back. All right. If you've listened to the previous shows, you know I have a fixation on Fukushima. Oh, Fukushima, I wish you'd leave me alone. I really do. I want to talk about Michigan, but every day there's something new and potentially horrible coming out of Fukushima. The latest is they're now seeing steam rising out of reactor number 3. Some people are saying it's a meltdown. I personally believe that the core is melting into the groundwater. Okay, some people are saying, no, it's just steam. Okay, that's great. But you know what that steam has in it? Radioactive waste. You've got radioactive waste spewing from this reactor again. But that's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. You've got the media telling you, don't worry about the radiation. There's nothing to worry about. When you hear that it's coming from Discovery News, the New York Times, and the Huffington Post, you know that's when you got to start worrying. So what I did is I did some, the Freedom Outpost website actually did the work. It's freedomoutpost.com. I'm just going to read what they said. So here are 36 signs that the media is lying about Fukushima radiation affecting the west coast of the United States. According to freedomoutpost.com, the west coast of the United States is being absolutely fried by radiation. So, what are the 36 signs? Stay with me. I'm going quickly on this one. Number 1, and I'm going to read this, so if it sounds like I'm reading it, that's why. 36 signs the media is lying to you. First sign, independent researchers have measured alarmingly high levels of radiation on the beaches of the West Coast. For example, on December 23, 2013, at Pacifica State Beach, radiation levels near the water are up to 5 times higher than background radiation. Nothing going on there. That's quite normal. Number 2. According to Oceanus magazine, the total amount of cesium-137 that has been released into the Pacific Ocean from Fukushima is 10,000 to 100,000 times greater than the amount released into the oceans by the Chernobyl disaster or by the atmospheric nuclear weapons tests combined of the 1960s. Holy moly. Cesium-137 will kill you slowly. It's radioactive. They already have said 1 million gallons of this stuff has already been released. At least 1 million gallons has already been released into the ocean. Now it's 10,000 to 100,000 times greater? Comprehend that, people. I don't care how much water's in the Pacific Ocean. It's not, even if it dilutes it, it's still radioactive. It's going to get into the fish, the kelp, the seaweed. We eat it. It's just a natural progression. It's a circle of life. Number 3, former MSNBC host, and I'm going to screw his name up, I'm sorry, Cenk Uygur, has admitted that while he was at NBC or MSNBC, he was instructed not to warn the public about the radiation coming from Fukushima. Why do that? It's going to be fine. You have nothing to worry about. Number 4, and this is the scary part, because this means our government knew all along that this was highly radioactive, and they sent these sailors over there, and they're dying. 71 U.S. sailors, and that number is growing as of today, which is January 17th. 71 U.S. sailors who assisted with the initial Fukushima relief efforts have developed serious diseases such as testicular cancer, thyroid cancer, leukemia, unremitting gynecological bleeding, and brain tumors. That was a result of exposure to radiation from Fukushima. Number 5, something is causing the starfish all along the west coast of the United States
to literally disintegrate into piles of white goo. It's natural. We've seen it all along. No, sorry, we haven't. It's never happened. Is it a coincidence that all this radiation is being leaked into the ocean, now these starfish are turning into goo? I don't think so. But let's go into another coincidence. Bald eagles are dying in unprecedented numbers in Utah, and nobody can figure out why this is happening. Oh, I don't know. Could it be the radiation coming over from Fukushima? No, they're telling us in the media that there's nothing to worry about, so we've got to believe that. Oh, gosh. On top of the eagles and starfish, there's more. Hundreds or huge numbers of dead birds are dropping dead and washing up along the coastlines of Alaska. It is being reported that many of the carcasses of the dead birds are broken open and bleeding. So are we talking radiation poisoning? Are we talking overeating? Are we talking the aliens have gotten tired of giving us anal exams and they're using their machinery on these birds and whoops, not going well? Don't know. The recent deaths of thousands of birds in Oregon is absolutely baffling scientists. Something is causing large numbers of seals and walruses up in Alaska to lose their hair and develop oozing sores. Substantial number of polar bears along the coast of Alaska are suffering from fur loss and open sores. That doesn't sound like a symptom of radiation poisoning, does it, boys and girls? We can't figure it out. It's baffling us. Gosh, can't figure it out. There is an epidemic of sea lion deaths along California's coastline. The population of sockeye salmon along the coastlines of Alaska is at a historic low. Something is causing Pacific herring to bleed from their gills, bellies, and eyeballs. Seriously, people, this just doesn't happen all at once. We're baffled. Okay, look over to Japan. Might find your answer there, so you can stop being baffled. I don't even know what baffled means. Dangerous levels of cesium-137 have been discovered in mushrooms and berries grown along the west coast. For those of you who don't know, cesium-137 does not occur naturally. It's coming from somewhere. Where would it be coming from? I don't know. Fukushima. Maybe. According to an absolutely shocking report put out by the National Academy of Sciences, it has been proven that Pacific bluefin tuna have transported radioactive material across the entire Pacific Ocean. Something seems to be causing a substantial spike in the death rate of killer whales living off the coast of British Columbia. Gosh, we don't know what it is. We're baffled. Experts have found very high levels of cesium-137 in plankton living in the waters of the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and the west coast. Cesium-137 does not occur naturally, people. One test in California found that 15 out of 15 bluefin tuna were contaminated with radiation from Fukushima. That completely contradicts the mainstream media's report that there are no fish contaminated with radiation. There's nothing to worry about, see? Back in 2012, the Vancouver Sun reported that cesium-137 was being found in very high percentage of the fish that Japan was selling to Canada. Keep in mind, this is a year and a half ago, people, almost 2 years ago. Let's go over these percentages. So, 73% of the mackerel, 91% of the halibut, 92% of the sardines, 93% of the tuna and the eel. Who eats eel? 94% of cod and anchovies, and 100% of the carp, seaweed, shark, and monkfish have a very high percentage of cesium-137. This is back in 2012, people. This is when it was not leaking that much, and the Pacific Ocean dilutes all that radioactivity out of it, so it really doesn't affect us. Okay, I would really like you to eat an eel, a monkfish, or a carp, and tell me how you feel. Thanks. Next, an EU-funded study concluded that Fukushima released up to 210 quadrillion becquerels of cesium-137 into the atmosphere. I I think I'm a scientist because I think I just found out where all these berries and mushrooms are getting their cesium-137. Pay me, please. One very experienced Australian adventurer has stated that he felt as though the ocean itself was dead as he journeyed from Japan to San Francisco recently. According to this very experienced Australian adventurer who likes to roll the ocean, okay, the next leg of a long voyage from Osaka to San Francisco, and for the most of that trip, the desolation was tinged with nauseous horror and a degree of fear. Alright, I think he's embellishing just a tad bit. After we left Japan, it felt as if the ocean itself was dead. We hardly saw any living things. We saw one whale sort of rolling helplessly on the surface with what looked like a big tumor on its head. It was pretty sickening. I've done a lot of miles of ocean in my life, and I'm used to seeing turtles, dolphins, sharks, and big flurries of feeding birds. But this time, for 3,000 nautical miles, there was nothing alive to be seen. Now, this last part I know is true. I've seen pictures of it. In place of the missing life was garbage in astounding volumes. Part of the aftermath of the tsunami that hit Japan a couple of years ago was the wave that came over the land. It picked up an unbelievable load of stuff and carried it out to sea, and it's still out there everywhere you look. This particular thing I know is true. They are finding stuff from Japan washed up on the shores of the West Coast, and lo and behold, they're finding it radioactive. So if that stuff is coming across radioactive, what do you think the water is coming across as? What do you think the fish, the birds, the seals, the monkfish, the carp, the eel, what do you think? You think they're going to be radioactive? I sure do. I'm a scientist. It is being projected that the radioactivity off coastal waters off the U.S. West Coast could double over the next 5 years. I don't think double's enough. Number 23, the Deputy Chairman of Russia's State Duma Committee for Natural Resources, Maxim Shingarkin, says the seafood captured off the northwest coast of the United States is so radioactive it represents a danger for mankind. I said it well before this, and I'm going to say it again. If you eat anything from the west coast or from the Pacific Ocean, you're an idiot. Commit suicide quicker, because that's what you're doing. You're slowly killing yourself. According to one recent scientific report, radiation from Fukushima could affect our seafood for many generations and ultimately kill more than 1 million people. The problem is, you're never going to hear about it from the mainstream media because as it kills you slow. It's cancer. Cancer happens every day. But they're not going to tell you that this cancer rates are skyrocketing from Fukushima radiation that nobody believes exists because all they do is listen to the mainstream media. The Japanese government has estimated that approximately 300 tons of highly radioactive water is pouring into the Pacific Ocean from the destroyed Fukushima nuclear facility every day. 300 tons a day. This has been going on for almost 2 years. I'm not that smart. Somebody do the math for me. What's 300 tons by 2 years? Figure that out. It won't affect anything. It's just diluted. Don't worry about it. A senior researcher of marine chemistry at the Japan Meteorological some institute in Japan says 300 billion becquerels of radioactive cesium and 30 billion becquerels of radioactive strontium are being released into the Pacific Ocean from Fukushima every single day. It's diluted. Don't worry about it, people. Just listen to the mainstream media. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about that tumor. According to TEPCO, the Tokyo Electric Power Company, oh gosh, the most, I can't even get into how ill-equipped, these people are hiring homeless people to clean up Fukushima. I'm sorry, if you got a nuclear radioactive disaster, you think you might want to get somebody with a little bit of experience or qualifications? Well, they're going to die anyway, just get the homeless guys, right? Anyway, according to this guy, according to TEPCO, a total of somewhere between 20 trillion and 40 trillion becquerels of radioactive tritium have gotten into the Pacific Ocean since the Fukushima disaster began. 300 tons, 30 million, or 30 billion, 30 billion, 20 to 40 trillion. It's fine. We're good. As a fact, go down and grab yourself a cup of radioactive water. You'll be fine. Oh gosh. According to a professor at Tokyo University, 3 gigabecquerels of cesium-137 are flowing into the port at Fukushima Daiichi every single day, and I bet you what, people, I bet you there's fish in that port. Those fish like to swim. Them dirty, rotten scoundrels, they swim. They suck up water. They get radioactive. I'm surprised you can't see them from space by now. It is being projected that significant levels of cesium-137 will reach every corner of the Pacific Ocean by the year 2020. I predict sooner. Because I'm a scientist, I can figure this stuff out just by reading this stuff. It has been estimated that the entire Pacific Ocean will soon have cesium levels 5 to 10 times higher than we witnessed during the era of heavy atomic bombing testing in the Pacific many decades ago. We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. CNN says we're fine. The immense amount of radioactive material being released into the Pacific Ocean from Fukushima has caused environmental activist Joe Martino to issue the following warning. Your days of eating Pacific Ocean fish are over. Okay, let's change that. The immense amount of radioactive material being released into the Pacific Ocean from Fukushima has called Mysteries of Michigan host Tom Balassis to issue the following warning. Your days of eating Pacific Ocean fish are over. I said it first. Next, 32, we're almost done. The iodine-131, cesium-137, and strontium-90 that are constantly being released from Fukushima are going to affect the health of those living in the northern hemisphere for a very, very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing this from Michigan or anywhere from north of Ecuador, you're going to be affected by Fukushima. You are not going to get around it. You are going to be affected. You're going to be breathing this stuff in. If you eat any food out from over there, and it's going to come over here. Anything you eat, eat Spam. I'm sure that's not radioactive. Outdoor radiation levels at Fukushima recently hit an all-time high. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fukushima radiation levels at this point, if you were standing outside of a reactor, you are dead in 20 minutes. Dead. You're dead. You're standing outside the reactor looking at it going, wow, this thing's all jacked up. 20 minutes later, somebody's looking at your dead body. That's normal though. Don't worry about it. According to the Wall Street Journal, it is being projected that the cleanup of Fukushima could take up to 40 years to complete. Who are they kidding? Seriously? You're never going to clean that up. You got to cordon it off and just say goodbye. Anybody who's ever heard of Chernobyl, you still can't go there and be safe. These guys are idiots. And that was in what, 84? This is exactly what I'm talking about. The Wall Street Journal is part of the mainstream media. They're lying to you. It's not going to take 40 years. It'll take 40 billion years. Idiots. Yale professor Charles Perrow is warning that if the cleanup of Fukushima is not handled with 100% precision, that humanity could be threatened for thousands of years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, TEPCO, the Tokyo Electric Power Company, is in charge of this, and these guys are insanely incompetent. They have no idea what they're doing. Consider ourselves threatened. Last one. And this is what I just talked about. There are very alarming reports that the new unexplained plumes of radioactive stream are arising from Fukushima. Japanese officials are not able to get inside and see what is causing these plumes. Some are speculating that the crisis at Fukushima just got a whole lot worse. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not really getting worse. It's there. You are in full China syndrome, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody who doesn't know what China syndrome is, it is the meltdown of the reactor. Meltdown causes boom. Boom causes radiation to go in the air. Radiation in the air means you and I breathe it. We die. Have fun. So listen. I don't know what else to say about this. I don't want to dwell on this any more than I have to, but all joking aside, Fukushima is a big-time disaster. Huge disaster. You're not being told about the truth. You're not going to be told about the truth.
The United States government has just ordered 144,000, I think it was, doses of iodine to prevent radiation sickness. Why would you do that if you don't think that there's something going on? Either you know radiation is coming over from Fukushima, or you're expecting a smart bomb or somebody to blow up a nuclear bomb on American soil. Either way, it's not a good scenario. But this right now is essentially going to turn into somebody nuking the United States from Fukushima. I don't want to be joking about this, but it's the only thing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. So, I don't know what else to say. Please comment on this. Facebook me. Let me know what you think about this Fukushima. Read up on it, but please, for the love of God, don't read your Fox News. Don't read your CNN. Don't read your MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS. It's all bought and paid for. They're going to tell you what they want you to hear. Find your alternative news sites. That's where you get the truth. That's where you're going to learn about how bad this Fukushima really is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of my show. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm trying to go a little bit of a route. The other shows were, they was serious, but I want to add a little bit of humor into it. That's who I am. I like to have fun. Some of this stuff we really can't have humor, but I really truly, I mean, this was the perfect show. This Bigfoot stuff is an absolute utter nightmare. It's a joke. So, guys, thanks for listening. Hook me up on Podbean, iTunes, what else we got? Facebook, Twitter. I am working on getting this on Kindle, so you can download it on Kindle, on a Kindle app. I'll let you know how that works. But again, thanks for listening. Hopefully next week I don't have to talk about Fukushima. You never know. Every day there's another story coming out. But thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. See ya.